What is going on? My name is Josh Decker, if this is the first time that you've tuned in. So I wanted to revisit today passage of scripture that I used to love to talk about when I was a youth pastor. It's Proverbs 26:11. It says this, that as a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool returns to his folly. And so, as I've been thinking about, what I'm doing in life and, trying to help people kind of move in a direction that is going to benefit them and not keep repeating the same things over and over again. Hey, Wendy, what's up? This particular scripture really kind of stood out to me. So let me kind of explain this a little bit, right? So first off, if you've ever owned a dog, yeah, I know, right? Ugh. If you've ever owned a dog, you'll see that it has vomited at some point, right? And so, blech. And then dogs, the way that they're wired and the way that their stomach, it is when they vomit, they re-eat it for whatever reason. But just imagine that, right? Just like, blech, and then, okay. Now, as humans, we do not eat our vomit. That is absolutely disgusting, right? But what the scripture is saying is that just like a dog will go back and eat its vomit, we a lot of times will repeat the same things over and over again. So think about the destructive behaviors or the destructive thoughts that you've had, or the behaviors, the habits that you have that you'd really like to break, but yet we keep going back to those, whether it's eating or an addiction or if it's coffee or if it's negative thoughts or whatever that thing is, but we keep, going back to these things. And why? Well, because at times we are really foolish. And so, we are almost at the end of January. We're 1 month into 2019, and we really need to move past it, right? We need to stop coming back to our vomit and going vomit, right? We need to stop coming back to these behaviors, these thought patterns, these things that are holding us back and are quite honestly destructive to us and those around us. And we need to move forward, right? And so how do we do that? Well, the first thing that we have to do is realize that it all starts in our brain, right? It all starts in our brain and with how we think about things. And unless we change how we think about things, we will never change what the outcome is, right? And so we have to get to that point. And so I would really encourage you, if you haven't really put some thought to what is it I think about, do that. Maybe just even keep a log, for even a day, right? And just write down every time you have a thought or every time something comes out of your mouth that you're like, I really don't like how that makes me feel, right? Or I really don't like how I feel when I think about this or when I behave like this. Just keep a log, and that's going to give you an idea of where you are and then what you can do to change, because we have to identify those areas before we can ever expect to change. Okay, so I'd really encourage you, do that. Keep a log for even just a day, right? And then find out where you're at. But then past that, the next step is, what do we do to actually change what's going on up here? And so I mentioned a while ago an affirmation journal, right? So just get a notepad, a notebook, whatever, and think about the affirmation, or not the affirmation, but think about where you want to be, right? What you want to see different. So if you're not happy because of a relationship you're in or because of something that you're going through, the more you think about that, the more that's going to be the case. And so think about, okay, well, what is it I can be grateful for? And then create an affirmation for yourself around that gratitude. I am so thankful and grateful that, I've got a beautiful wife, that I've got great kids, that I, win as a parent, right? Even if you don't feel like that is true all the time for you, right? The more you are grateful for it, the more true it becomes all the time. And if you're working towards something specific, you get into an affirmation, right? I am so grateful and thankful that, or now that, and you fill in the blank. Now that, I've got kids who love me. I've got kids who respect me. I've got a job that I love, whatever. And watch to see how things start changing. So with an affirmation journal, the challenge is write it 7 times a day for 70 days straight. Right? And if you miss a day, start over. I know I've had to do that several times. So 7 times a day, 70 days straight, and make it happen. Okay? So work on what's up here. Stop coming back to your vomit because it's disgusting. And let's get on with this, right? Let's move forward in 2019. If you need some help, with that, if you're kind of stuck in what's going on in your brain, tell you what, drop me a comment or shoot me a private message. There are some things that I have found that are really helpful with getting past some of these blocks and things. Would love to share that with you. Otherwise, hope that this was at least a little bit entertaining for you, that it is, thanks, Wendy, that it was, helpful to you, maybe a little bit challenging, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, peace.